6, and I got a special guest on the show today with tonight, AuDii3000. What's going on?
Yo, how's everybody doing? I am so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
So now I understand that you're a podcaster.
I am.
And you're an entrepreneur too as yourself. Like you have your own record label and everything. But for the people that don't really know about you yet, just introduce yourself to the people.
Okay, so my name is AuDii3000, like I said earlier, and I come from WTW Records. That's Worth the Wait Records. We have artists on the label. We do our own videos. We have artists. We have the podcast. We also have the YouTube page, a SoundCloud. We're just a record label that's trying to like do it ourselves for ourselves, and we're just a big happy family, like trying to just everybody just hustle on their own and just make their dreams come true. So that's a little bit about the company that I'm with. But as far as like the whole about me, I'm originally from California, San Jose, and I was raised in Miami. So yeah.
So when I always gotta ask people this, like when you was younger, have you ever thought of like just owning businesses, or what was like your first like dream like career?
I wanted to be Selena.
Selena, yeah.
I'm not lying. I swore that I was going to be a singer. My dad would actually have me practice singing. That's what my initial dream was, to become a singer. That didn't work out, but I would always see myself imitating like hosts from like 106 in Park and like Direct Effect, like on MTV and BET. Just watching all of those shows and pretending to like be the host and have my brother become the rapper. And it's crazy because that's exactly what's happening right now. But yeah, no, definitely the first thing was I wanted to be Selena.
Well, we had a discussion with a few artists like in a couple episodes ago. We were saying that if Selena and Aaliyah was alive, I wouldn't think it would be a Beyonce or a J-Lo, because I felt like Beyonce and J-Lo they took the spot. As they grew and stuff like that. But some people believe that it would have been different if Selena and Aaliyah was here.
I just feel like the whole crossover between Latin music and I guess like hip hop would have been like insane if that would have happened. And I felt like how now the trap music is out, like the Spanish trap and like even the reggaeton. I felt like if Selena would have been around, that would have happened quicker. She would have crossed that path. Which
so like more like early like 2000, late 90s, because when reggaeton came out, like what, 04, 05 ish.
I would say a little bit before that. I would say maybe I remember hearing it like in middle school, and that was like 2001-ish. So reggaeton's been around for a long time, but then even like the whole aspect of like Hispanic, like Spanish, like kind of like moving music, that's been around for a long time as well. But I feel like since Selena had a very big influence, like her influence comes from the hip hop culture, I felt like she would have just brought that in. And with Aaliyah being alive, half of these girls wouldn't look the way they look. Exactly. That's me. Beyonce to me is the queen, and so is J-Lo.
Yeah,
now, if their careers, I feel like Beyonce doesn't even get compared to Selena or Aaliyah. I feel like she's just a whole entity on her own.
Yeah.
But as far as J-Lo, if it wasn't for Selena, honestly, Latina artists wouldn't be as crossover as J-Lo is and what she's done. Yeah. So I can agree with that.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Let's save that for later. I got a few questions for you. So I guess during like middle school, high school, did you ever like host like different like events or something like that, like open mics, I guess, at the high schools?
I never did. I remember in high school though, I would always be a part of the ciphers that they had in school. I would always know when they were gonna happen.
So you rap?
I do not rap. I was the one on the side, like,
So you was like hyping it up.
And then I was just like, I've just always been a fan of hip hop, like always. I've never done like an open. I have hosted an open mic before. I've actually hosted 3. But that was recently. That was nothing that I did like in high school or anything like that. So yeah.
So how was that experience, like just hosting the event?
Hosting an event, honestly, my first hip hop event, because I've hosted other events before, but it was never a hip hop event. And hosting my first one, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, like I get to like be cool, like with the DJ and like kind of be behind the scenes. And then I'm one of the first people that the artists get to meet. And I like that because I feel like artists are so creative.
They are.
And they're so bold, you know what I mean? And they're so vulnerable. And then for them to also perform on top of that, I feel like it's so beautiful. So the connection between the host and the artist, I love that aspect. And just like hyping up the crowd and, you know, that's fun too. So I like that aspect a lot.
So you doing all these great things right now. Have the podcast, have the label. What was which one was the first to come? The label, then the podcast and everything else, or what happened during that time, like when you wanted to be independent?
Well, honestly, the label came before.
Okay.
The podcast was always an idea. I always wanted to host my own radio show, you know, and the idea came from when my brother's an artist, and then we have our own record company. With that comes your own SoundCloud and, you know, YouTube page. So around the time that, you know, my brother decided that he wanted to come out with more music and just kind of like buckle down on like having goals set and then just like crossing them off of your list. Once that 5-year plan started with the company, it was just like, okay, so now we want to bring in a podcast. And it was just like, okay, so I want to start my own podcast, but I need to put it on different their where can I put them? And he was just like, well, you know, the label has, you know, their own SoundCloud and their own, you know, their own YouTube page, so why don't you just do it on there? And I was just like, all right, cool, let's do it, you know? So
let's start off with the label first. Like, what was the idea behind the name of the label?
Well, it's Worth the Wait. So it just became something to where it was just like, it's worth the wait, like waiting for like it to happen. But right now our new slogan is like, it's worth the wait, but we ain't waiting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't wait.
So, and it was just like worth the wait with like, because Worth the Wait has been coming along for a couple of years now. You know what I mean? And the artists have been putting out music for like a couple of years now. We have been working as a label for a while. And it was just something that it's just like, you know, you're worthy also. You're worthy of chasing your dreams, of following your ambitions, and becoming the best version of yourself. So that's how the record company, I mean, they started it because they're artists, you know? You know, we learned from some of the greats of like starting your own shit. Yeah, exactly. Being your own boss.
Like the Dame Dashes.
Yeah, so the Dame Dashes, the Jay-Z. Jay-Z's one of my favorite rappers. Yeah. Diddy is, listen, if I could work for Diddy right now, I'm gone. But yeah, so that's pretty much, that's how the label started. It's a group of us. And we're just all creatives, you know, trying to make it and, you know, trying to really become the best versions of ourselves.
So how many is y'all in total in the label?
Well, we do have Hav, we have Spitz, we have CAB, and we have Laid Back. All of those are artists, and then myself. I come in as the manager. But yeah, so that's 4 artists, right? Yeah, there's 4 artists, and then me. So it's 5 of us.
Okay, so as a manager, because it's something that, because you're also a manager too, so
yes.
You're also like this. Yeah, you the second manager on the show, so I always gotta ask like these important questions. Explain to the people like the challenges, whether it's positive or negative, as being a manager. Because I know it's a lot of work with booking shows and stuff like that, etc. But you know, give us like a experience that happened. For me, it would be like those times that one of my artists goes through something because of somebody else and their irresponsibility. You know what I mean? Like when it's something that is kind of like not a waste of time, because nothing is a waste of time. You just learn something from that. But I would say that is one of the hardest things, is that when you see one of your artists disappointed in something that's completely out of your control. You know what I mean? I can't really pinpoint a situation because I really don't like to dwell or like really think about the negative things. But I do know that every time that any of those instances ever happened, I know that whichever artist it was able to bounce back and was able to just keep moving forward. You know what I mean? And that's also, as a manager, it's hard for me because I have my brother on the label. You know what I mean? So I have my brother on the label, and it's like I'm very biased when it comes to him, because it's like to me it's like he's on my top 5 favorite rappers. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
So it's kind of like that's something else that's hard, to where it's just like I have, my brother who's the artist on the label, but I also have the other ones who I can't neglect. You know what I mean? So that's something that's hard for me. To where it's just like, it's like a mother.
Yeah.
I'm not one, but I kind of am, because I have like the different artists and different personalities, and trying to really know what's best for the label and not just best for that one artist. So yeah.
So do all of them rap, or they have different type of music, like different?
Well, they all rap. They all have different styles of rap. Some of them sing. Some of them have them hardcore melodies. So, but they're rappers.
So if you could compare, I guess, an artist like now and from back in the days, like the 4 artists that you have, the four that you have, can you compare them to like another artist?
I can, only because I know them personally, so I know kind of where like their style comes from. I would say that Hav is more like, gives me like a Lupe Kid Cudi vibe. Okay. But he also has that Miami Bay Area style to him, and then Spitz reminds me of Fab and Jadakiss. CAB, man, he's hard because he's so unique to compare him to anybody. Dang. It's just because he gives me like a Nas vibe, but then like also like because he's also from Jersey. Yeah. So he kind of gives me like that vibe too. I couldn't pinpoint an artist on him. And then Laid Back Sosa, which is the other artist, him, I can't. It's hard to compare him to an artist too. I would say like because he has like an Outkast type of vibe. Because that's like artists that he really really likes. So you hear that in his music. You hear that influence. So yeah, those would be the artists that I would like compare our artists to.
Well, I have to listen to all their music.
You have to.
Yeah, I have to.
Bro, we drop a new song every single Saturday. So we drop a new video.
So it's literally every Saturday on SoundCloud, YouTube, and everything?
WTW Saturdays. We drop a new video, a new song. This week we drop 2, and then we drop a new podcast every Saturday.
Okay, so are you guys like on iTunes too as well, like for the music? Yeah,
we're on, we have... 3 or 4 projects on Apple Music. We have Weekend in LA, which is a project by Hav and CAB. Then we have Can't Help But Notice by Spitz. We also have a song called Bussin', which Laid Back Sosa is featured on. And we also have Burgundy, which is Hav's project.
That's what's up. So I got a lot of more music to listen to.
Boy, and if you get on that SoundCloud, we're gonna be there all day listening.
So we go from the label now to the podcast.
Let's do it.
Like you said, like we was talking before the podcast. The name, the Ambition Hour, the Ambition Hour. My bad for my,
No, you good. we're from Miami. We can't say some certain words.
Especially after a certain time. I tell people at night I can't say certain words, but why did you come up with the name? Like what was that moment or that, I guess, time when you was like, you know what, I'm gonna name my podcast that? Like, what motivated you?
So my Instagram name used to be Ambition Fit Girl 24. That was I was really into fitness a couple of years ago, like last year. I was really into fitness, so that was my Instagram. I also have Ambition tatted on me.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's
tight. So I do have the Ambition tatted on me. So that was my name. So then it became associated with me, like Ambition. And so the engineer at the studio that the boys work at, I told him, I'm like, I want to start a podcast. The only thing that I'm missing is a name, because I already had the guest. I already knew what I was going to do, what I was going to talk about, what it was going to be, everything. I just didn't have a name. So he's just like, how about the Ambition Hour? And I'm like, the Ambition Hour? All right, let's go. And that was the name from, I didn't hear no other name. That was all I needed, the Ambition Hour.
So how was was you nervous when you did your first couple episodes? Because I know I was.
Yes, I was nervous because it was the first time doing it. It was something I had never done before. I was doing it on my own. I didn't even really know the person that I was interviewing. And my first episode was an interview. But then it was interesting because I felt like I belonged there, and I felt like as soon as it started, it was crazy how second nature it was to me.
Yeah, like what a lot of people tell me too as well is like just like yourself is like people always say like we have like an energy, like a positive energy where like how like one of the reasons why I created my podcast is because like I can open people up, you know. Even like the quietest person in the room, I could open them up, you know. You know, start a conversation like how we are right now. So it's just like, you know, why not just create a podcast, you know, just conversating and interview based, but just at the same time that barbershop salon talk. You know,
I've had a few good conversations at a barbershop. Let me tell you, I got a brother installed. I mean, when he went, I had to go with him.
So what was like your favorite episode?